Hello, happy Friday, happy Friday. Okay, let me know when you get on. Let me know. I came outside because it is sunshiny. I know the lighting's not amazing. You let me know if you can see me. Can you see me? The lighting's not amazing, but I came outside because, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I can maybe move and get my sunglasses. You tell me. Tell me, hi guys. Tell me, let me see if I move over here. Is that any better? Or wait, I'm still moving. Ooh, then the sun's gonna be right in my eyes. Hang on. What do you think about that? No, that's not good either. We'll just come back over here. What if I go this way? How's that? Is that better? Hello. Is that any better whatsoever? We'll try it this way. That's a little better, yeah? Yeah, okay, that's a little better. How are you? Okay, you guys, here's the thing. Oh my gosh, I have to tell you this story. I have something happening in my house right now that I've never, ever had happen before. And first of all, I'm a hoarder. Hi, I'm Julie Forrest. I'm a hoarder. I'm a hoarder. And I have been a coach for 12 and a half years. And can you even begin to imagine the amount of stuff that I have saved over 12 and a half years? Okay, and we've lived in this house for 15, almost 16 years. And I have so much stuff. So I'm a hoarder. And because I'm a hoarder, I have a lot of stuff stored. And today, for the very first time ever in my entire life, I have hired a professional organizer, like a sorter, an organizer, someone who is in my basement right now going through my stuff to tell me what to get rid of, which will probably be like 80% of the stuff that I have hoarded over the past however many years. But because she's in there, I know it's like a dream. I finally watched enough episodes of The Home Edit on Netflix and I'm like, I need help. I need help for my hoardingness. So she's here, she's local, she's here in Carmel, Indiana. She's now in my basement. And here's the other part of the story. Okay, so she came, awesome, takes her shoes off, she's wearing her mask, the whole shebang, awesome. Goes down the basement. We get started. I go upstairs, take a shower. I come downstairs. My puppy has gotten her shoe and is now chewing the insole of her shoe. I walk down and I go, just add it to my bill. I owe you a new pair of shoes too. So while you're sorting, I now owe you a new pair of shoes. So that's what's happening right now in the JV house in Carmel, Indiana. While I am talking to you, puppies are chewing insoles of shoes. My basement storage closet is being cleaned out. Like, y'all, when I tell you I hoard, like I've got all the stuff that my girls made. I keep it all. I just do. And, yeah, so that's what's happening. And now I'm popping us. So I was like frantically trying to shower and look like something. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to come outside where I can keep an eye on the dogs and talk to you and hang out with you. So hi, how are you? It's a gorgeous day here in Carmel, Indiana, but it's chilly. It's so strange because it is chilly and I've got a jacket and I'm a little bit chilly even in this. It's probably colder maybe where you are if you're in Canada. But like on Monday, it was like 80 degrees. So it's so strange right now. But I'm excited to talk to you. I'm excited to talk to you on a Thursday. And my hope is that we can do a Q&A. So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory because I've been a coach since the beginning of time. I've been a coach since the beginning of time. So I'm going to give you a little bit of backstory. In that might help you with some questions, but I do definitely hope that you will put some questions in the comments because here's what I know for sure. 100%, here's what I know for sure. You are on one of the most amazing teams in this Beachbody network. You have some of the most incredible leaders in this Beachbody network, like legit lifers in this, there is nothing I can tell you that you have not heard. So the only thing that I can offer you is probably what you've heard, but in a different voice or from a different perspective. Only because I've been in it for so long. I've been in it since, I've seen every iteration of this business. And so I might be able to offer you something in a different voice or different perspective. And I will also tell you this. I was a coach for about 8 months before it finally clicked with me what this business could do. And it wasn't because I hadn't been told what it could do, but it was because I happened to be sitting in a room, listening to a speaker. My heart and my mind were ready to receive what that speaker was saying. I can't even tell you what he said, but I heard it that day, and I heard it differently that day. I heard it because I was in the place of most potential. I was in the room. I was ready for the conversation. And so I heard it that day, and that was the game changer for me to start to understand what the potential this business could have in my life. And it wasn't that anything he said or anything in that conversation was different from anything that I'd heard before. I was just ready to hear it. I was ready to receive it. And so that might even be the case for you today, or any of these SuperStar takeovers that we had, or any national wake-up call, or any team call, or any other conversation you have. You know you can do this business. You also know this business is not that hard. But until you're in the place to receive that, until you're in the place to really understand that and take that in, you can hear it all day long, right? So as we go into this, you got to know there's very likely nothing I'm going to say to you. And I really don't have anything like prepared, because I find that when I do that, often it's not relevant to what you need. And I just want to serve you with something that might help you wherever you are right now. And you just got to be in the right headspace and right heart space to hear it and receive it. I know I was that day that I heard it. And again, I can't even tell you what it was that was said. I just know I was in the right place. And so that might be the case for you today. So let me give you a little backstory. My daughters call me the context queen. So it was so funny. Last week, Micah Folsom, who I adore, came in my team page, and she spoke for I'm not making this up, 6 minutes. I messaged her afterwards. I'm like, how did you even do that? I'm just in the introduction in 6 minutes, and you're in and out and done. I am the context queen. I give you all the context. I was a former high school English teacher, so I feel like that's probably part of it. But I want to give you a little bit of backstory, and also I have to show you my dog, the dog who ate the insoles. I hope that you can see her when I turn around. Can you see her laying back there on the swing? Are you kidding? How can you even be mad? That's what's so annoying. That's what's so annoying about beagles, is they eat all the things and do all the bad things and all the naughty things, and then they're so freaking cute that you cannot even be mad at them. So here's a little context for you. I have been a coach for 12 and a half years. Prior to that, I came to this business from the fitness industry. I came to the fitness industry from the high school English teaching industry. I was a high school English teacher. My husband is a college football coach. If any of you have been in Beachbody long enough to have come to Indianapolis for Summit, you were about 30 minutes from my house. So it felt like an amazing family reunion that entire time. It was just that Summit here in Indianapolis will forever, 2018 and 2019, it will forever go down as two of the highlights of my entire life. That was just the coolest experience ever, to have my Beachbody family in this place that I call home as well. And when my husband and I met, I was teaching high school English, and he was a football coach, and football coaches' jobs tend to be transient. When we got married, we started having children and started moving around. And in one of the moves, we decided I would stop teaching high school English. I would stay home. I conveniently took that as a sign for it's time to have baby number 3. So we did. And we have 3 daughters. Jenna is in graduate school in Washington, D.C., George Washington University. And Josie, my middle one, was a high-level ballerina with Orlando Ballet, and now then went to school in New York City, is no longer dancing, went to school in New York City, now has transferred to Butler. She came home in March, of course. And then Jessie, our youngest, is also at Butler. She had also gone to school in New York City and came home. She's a musical theater major. big news in our house is that she just got signed by an agent last week for TV and film. So I've been raising these 3 daughters the entire duration of my business. So if you are a parent, I'll just insert this right now. If you are a parent and you do have children, they are not, and nor should they ever be, your reason or your excuse why you cannot build this business. They are every single bit 100% my reason and my motivator. Why? Because saying no to your children is not anything any parent wants to do. And I have been there and I have done that. I have said no because we couldn't afford certain opportunities for them. And I'm not about that. I will use every bit of this business to make sure that I'm giving them every opportunity to pursue their passions and their curiosities. And they've been able to have some really amazing opportunities because of this business, including going to school in New York City. So all that being said, when I fell into fitness, it was because we had moved. I'd had a baby. My husband had his first full-time head coaching job, and we joined the YMCA there. And I started taking group exercise classes. So I would drop Jenna off at kindergarten, Josie off at preschool. I'd scoop Jessie up in the car seat. We'd head to the Y, and I'd take fitness classes every morning at 9:30. It was a pretty tough year that year, and I tell you this because it's where I first made the connection between fitness and life. In 2001, when we moved to Wisconsin, my husband left in January. We were in Pennsylvania. My husband left in January. So I was in Pennsylvania for January, February, March, April, May. Super fun. We had like 200 inches of snow. Here I am, pregnant with 2 kids. Okay. So I have that. My father was diagnosed with terminal cancer in the spring of that year. We moved to Wisconsin in May. So I'm 8 months pregnant. I moved, new doctor, knew the whole thing. Have this baby, go down, lose my father to cancer, come back home. My husband has his first head coaching job. My oldest child's in kindergarten. My middle one's in preschool. I've got a newborn baby. I'm in a town where I know no one. Our dog dies. Like, it was all the things. All the things in one little scoop of a microcosm. And when I joined the Y, it was the first time I'd really done group exercise classes. And I so clearly remember thinking, if I can get Jenna to school, Josie to school, take Jessie with me to the Y, and get to that 9:30 class, whatever it was, I did not care what it was. If I could get that workout in, everything else the rest of the day would sort itself out. And I have always been someone who can't sit still. I'm standing up doing this. I can't sit still. I'm very much a movement person, but I hadn't really connected movement to the clarity of my mind prior to that year, when it became really evident if I just got that workout in the morning, I could sort through caring for 3 children, my husband being gone all the time, dealing with my own grief. Like, I could sort through the other stuff if I got that workout in. And so as I continued to take classes there, that led to an opportunity to start teaching classes. And that was one conversation on a blue bench in the Waukesha Family YMCA. I was sitting on this blue bench in the lobby, waiting for 2 of the girls to come down, sitting there with my baby, when the group exercise director, Mary, came out and sat next to me, and she said, and this was November, so we'd been there since maybe August, and she said, I've seen you taking classes. I think you should start teaching, and I think you should start in January. It was literally a 3-sentence conversation, and I remember going, I've never taught before. She goes, that doesn't matter. You can do this. You can learn this. Okay. Then I went home and, I said to my husband, I'm like, she just asked me if I wanted to teach class. And he said, I can't believe that we haven't thought about it before. You can't stop. Like, you're a mover and you're a teacher. Doesn't it make sense? And that's how I fell into fitness. One conversation on a blue bench in a YMCA. Now, here's what's so interesting. That one conversation on that blue bench in the YMCA changed the entire course the rest of my life. The conversation to which I said yes changed the entire course of the rest of my life. Had I said no to that, the domino effect of everything else, I'd like to think I would have found myself to Beachbody, but I don't know. And I don't know how that would have happened, because I said yes to something about which I had no idea. I had no idea how to teach a group exercise class. I'd never done that before. But because I said yes, the domino effect started and my entire life changed because of that one conversation. Now, I'll also tell you this. When Mary sat down and asked me that, if I would have said no, she would not have run screaming out of the Y. She wouldn't have said, I'm quitting my job. This is too hard. She wouldn't have said, everyone says no. She would have gone, oh, okay, cool, and gone on about her business to the next person and asked someone else. You know, we make this business so much harder than it has to be. That one conversation that changed the course of my life, we actually have the power to do that every single day through our invites. Every single day, we have the opportunity to have a conversation with someone that can utterly, on all levels, change the course of their life. It's not up to us whether they say yes or not. It wasn't up to Mary whether I said yes or not. And Mary's life wasn't different whether I said yes or not. But she asked. And because she asked, my entire life is different. Because I said yes, my entire life is different. And we get to actually do that every single day. Every single day, we get to do that. And so I started teaching group exercise classes for $8 an hour. I taught that first class in January. It was just a kickboxing class. And I had no idea what I was doing. But you know what? I figured it out. As we do with all things. It's interesting because I actually didn't know how to parent one daughter. Didn't know how to parent two daughters. And I didn't know how to parent three daughters. I didn't even know how to be married. I didn't know how to be married to a football coach. But somehow I figured that out too. And all my daughters are still alive, as is my husband, although with this pandemic, I mean, I'm used to him being gone. All of a sudden he's home all the time. I'm like, don't you need to go to the office? But I didn't know how to be a football coach's wife or a mom to three daughters, and yet I figured that out. Why can't I figure out how to teach some group exercise classes? Why can't I figure out how to build a business? Why don't we give ourselves more credit for figuring out the stuff that we don't know? Because we do it every single day, you know? I didn't know how to be an empty nester last August. I was going to figure that out. We figure stuff out every day. We make this business 8,000 times harder. And when I say we, I mean we. Like, I do it too. That's just the human condition of making it harder than it has to be. I don't know why we do it, because life shouldn't be hard. It's okay to love what you do and make an income and make a difference and be in flow. You don't have to grind it for it to have success. You can actually be in flow and be in abundance and love what you do and still have success. I don't think any of us were created on this earth to have a hard life, right? We make it so much harder. So I just fell into fitness, started teaching, and found a fun little format called Turbo Kick that also changed my life, and taught that for a while until the auditions for Master Trainer came out. Decided to give it a go for that. Like, y'all, I mean, what was I even, like, it's so ridiculous now when you think about the stuff sometimes. I think back now and I'm like, the audacity that I had that I didn't even know I had. It's like that you don't even know what you don't know. Like, sure, I've only been teaching group fitness a few months. Let me audition to be a master trainer. What? I did. And I got the opportunity to go out to California. And I'll tell you this, I was just reminded of a post that I made a couple years ago. When I got invited to go out to California, make no mistake, it was like a 5-day long interview process. There was no guarantee that just because I was getting invited to California that I was going to be able to be a master trainer. So we get there on this Wednesday night, and there was an opportunity to do a form and technique workshop on Wednesday night. Totally voluntary. Form and technique workshop, totally voluntary. And then the actual like master trainer boot camp situation started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I flew in Wednesday. And if there's an opportunity for a workshop with Chalene Johnson, like the word voluntary doesn't even make sense to me. You know what I mean? Like optional, like that doesn't even make sense to me. I really don't understand what that means. And I will have to say that out of all the things that I've taught my girls, I think I've taught them that too. Optional doesn't mean optional. Optional means that's for you. So there was this optional form and technique workshop on Wednesday night when I went out for this master trainer boot camp. Of course, I showed up to it. Out of all the people that were invited to this boot camp, which I think were like 40, do you know how many of us went to that optional Wednesday night training with Shalene, the creator of the program for which were auditioning to become master trainers? Three of us did. 3. And something that I learned in Beachbody, and I also think I learned it from my dad, who was in the Navy for 40 years, that you put yourself in the place of most potential. And my dad might not have verbalized it that way. We heard a speaker at Leadership Conference a couple of years ago in Arizona that verbalized it exactly like that. Put yourself in the place of most potential. And my dad lived that. I just don't think he verbalized it that. And so to me, the word optional never made any sense. Of course, I was going to show up for this. 3 of us showed up for that. And I'm sharing that with you because, again, that was an opportunity that changed the rest of my life. I showed up for that workshop that was optional. So what I'm telling you, I had no idea what I was doing building a business. I had no idea what I was doing trying to be a master trainer. I had no idea what I was doing to teaching a fitness class. I just showed up. I just showed up to all the things that were optional. Here's what's so great about that. That takes 0 skill. I'm not very smart. I'm not very skilled. I'm not very creative. But if you just keep showing up, you can create magic. You can create the life that you want to create if you just keep showing up. So I showed up for that Wednesday night optional training. Got through Master Trainer Bootcamp. Got an invitation to become a master trainer. Another conversation that changed the rest of my life. Do you want to become a master trainer? Of course. Changed the course of my life. Along comes Turbo Jam and the opportunity for it to become a home workout, not just a gym workout. That partnership with Beachbody. Another conversation. When Shalene said, I think you guys should explore this coaching thing. It looks like a way that you can pursue your passion for fitness and maybe make a little money. Because I don't know about the jobs that you do or the jobs that you've done, but I taught high school English. And the first year I taught high school English, my very first year out of college, I made $16,000. 16,000. That's what I made for the entire year. When I started teaching fitness classes, I made $8 an hour. If I was still teaching at the YMCA right now here in Indiana, being a master, having taught for 20 years, being a master trainer and been in freaking videos, I'd make $11 an hour. Y'all, I don't know about you, but you can't put 3 girls through college on $11 an hour. So when Shalene said, much like that conversation on the blue bench, when Shalene said, I think you should try this, I think you should do it, I listened and I did it. I had no idea how to build a business. I also had no idea how to be a wife. I had no idea how to be a parent. I had no idea how to be an English teacher. Nobody knows what the hell to do till you get in the classroom. Had no idea how to teach fitness classes. Had no idea how to be a master trainer. Had no idea how to build a business. And yet somehow I have figured it out. And I am telling you that because, again, we make everything harder than it has to be. When I say we, I always mean me too. I'm never going to tell you anything that I am not currently doing or have not lived through. We make everything harder than it has to be. But I want this to be a reminder to you that you don't need to have the answers. That's called life. Figuring it out every single day that's life. That's what life is. We figure it out. We try, we assess, we tweak, we fail, we succeed. We do. That's called life. And if I had never just said yes to figuring it out, what would my life look like on November 12th, 2020? Nothing like it does right now. And all I did was say yes and go, okay, well, crap, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Let me just figure it out. And it's funny that when you show up and you put yourself in the place of most potential, you ignore the word optional and you just keep showing up, you can create the life that you want to create. And what's so cool about this business, to me, is it just feels like we're just getting started. Like I look around at all the goals that I haven't achieved yet and all the dreams on my team of my coaches that they haven't achieved yet. And I'm like, well, shit, we're just getting started. These past 12 years, that was just like information gathering. It was just like data. We're just gathering information so that we can then go forward another 12 years and another 12 and another 12. It's just like, we're just here trying to figure it out every single day. And through the course of my Beachbody coaching career, I have seen like no online office. Then I have Payo lesson 1 on VHS still, because remember, I'm a hoarder, as I shared with you at the beginning. So VHS, then DVDs, no Shakeology, came into business with no Shakeology. Then when Shakeology came out, it tasted like dirt. I'm not kidding. Then we all ate P90X bars. They were so good. They had to be so bad for you. They were so good. And then we went to digital, and now we've got all these flavors. And it's just every iteration of the business. It's every iteration of us. You know, we can't grow a business unless we grow us, but the crux of the business, the crucible of the business stays the same. I'm still pressing play and drinking a shake and reading a book and inviting people to join me, except now maybe I'm doing it on Instagram instead of MySpace, you know? What we do still stays the same. And for me, it all started with one conversation on a blue bench. And we have the chance to give that conversation, to have that conversation, to extend that invite every single day. And I look around and I think, my gosh, what if that conversation what if I hadn't been sitting there at that moment and Mary hadn't come out to ask me? And then what if my limiting beliefs had held me back and I hadn't said yes? What would my life look like? And I'll tell you what, I don't even want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it. And to know that I have that power every single day to do that for someone else, that's just about the coolest thing in the world. And even if our year looks different than what we thought it might, and even whether or not we've achieved goals that we thought we would or not. I mean, are you a lifer? Because I really don't have a timeline on my dreams and goals. I really don't. Who cares? I'm going to be in this thing 20 years from now. So maybe I'm achieving goals 20 years from now that I thought I would achieve this year. Who freaking cares? Because along the way, I'm just that much closer to the person I'm supposed to be, to the highest, best version of myself. Stop putting those timelines on your dreams and just keep working on them, because that's the beauty of this business. Is whatever you do with it, I hope that it helps you become the best version of yourself. So that's really the point, I think, is as we grow a business, we grow ourselves. And whatever you do with it, wherever your goals are, that the person you are now is a better version of you than when you first came into the business, and that you know you get to change someone's life every single day. And if that is all I leave you with today, I think that's enough. So I don't even know. You know me. I could talk forever, but nobody needs that. You gotta get back to work. So okay, it's 12:33. I don't know. I can do a couple questions here or there if you want me to, or if you're like, we're done with you and we need to go invite, then I'm cool with that. Whatever works for you. But I'm happy to answer a question or two if anyone has anything that I could answer. I'm sure it won't be anything that you haven't heard, but or if you do, tag me. You can write it in the comments and tag me, and if it's helpful, I can come back in and write an answer later. Whatever works for you. I just want you to know, maybe from a different voice, because God knows we can't be a prophet in our own land. You know what I mean? Like, you parents, you get it. You can tell your kids XYZ and they think that you are insane. And then they go to school and they come out, they're like, Mrs. Jones said we should do XYZ. She's a genius. And you're like, dude, I've been telling you that for your entire life. But all of a sudden it comes from a different voice, and it's like from the heavens above. So, sometimes you just got to hear it from a different, voice. And I hope that these SuperStar takeovers have been that for you. I know they've been that for my team. I know my team gets really sick of hearing it from me, and to hear it from a different voice a different perspective, a different story, I think is so valuable, because we get reminded that at our core, we're all the same, we're all the same. We just want to live and create our best life. And we get to do that with this business, You guys are funny. Let me just tell you this. I opened this up because I asked for questions. So I'm going to tell you this. Women, I'm talking to you. And I know there are men watching this. You have a different mindset. So women, I'm talking to you. Listen to me. Do not ask someone for the number of invites that they send out, or the planner that they use, or the pencil that they write with, or what they put in their journal every day. That is not the magic. The magic is the inner work that you do. That's the hard shit, but that's the stuff right there. That's the stuff. It doesn't matter, and I'm saying this with love, and I can, because I've been doing this for 12 and a half years, so I can say this. It doesn't matter how many invites I send. It doesn't matter what book I'm reading right now. It doesn't matter what calendar I use, what planner I use, what time I get up in the morning. It doesn't matter what brand of athletic wear I like, how I make my Energize, or any of that BS. It matters if you do the work on you to share the business in a way that would connect with you, to find the other people who will connect with that. And last year when we were working so hard to get to Elite, and I was working so hard, I remember some of my veteran coaches were like, "What are you doing? Do you have like a killer invite script?" I'm like, "Yeah, in my head. I'm changing the script in my head. So therefore my business is changing." Because what I send out, what I do, what my morning routine is, of course, there are best practices. Do not get that twisted. Of course there are best practices, but women tend to look for the give me the answer, because we for so long haven't given ourselves permission to find our own answer. So if no one's given you permission to do that before, I'm giving it to you right now. Ladies, you have permission to be the human being on this planet that you were destined and meant to be, but you have to do the inner work. And you actually don't need my permission. You only need to give permission to you. You. Women, get out your gifts. Get out your goals and your dreams. Uncover them and let them shine, and stop waiting for someone to give you the answer, because the answer's in you. It's been in you the whole time. That's why you were drawn here. This is a magnet for the people who want to get better and become their highest selves through this business. That's why you're here. And on this team, you don't need to know how many invites I send or what I'm reading. You need to give yourself permission to figure it out for you. And yeah, that's the hard stuff. But that's the stuff that creates the magic. That's the stuff that creates the magic. I promise you. There are best practices. Yes, that's why we have vital behaviors. Hi. That's why we have a tracker. Hi. But if I told you I sent out 3,000 invites a day, what would you say? Well, crap, I can't do that. Okay, then. So what makes a difference? If I told you that I sent out 0 invites a day, should you do that? No. What works for you? What aligns with your goals? Do that. And know that everything has a season. If you have a newborn baby, you'll be in a different season than someone who has kids in school or no kids. Cool. Welcome to life. Okay. Okay. Are we good? I hope that was semi-valuable in some way. It's a stunningly beautiful day. You know what it is? It's a great day to go change some lives. So how about we get back to the business of doing it? And I also want you all to know that for any person, any of you, me, any person who speaks to you, every time we are able to do this, it's funny because some of you will be like, "Oh my gosh, thank you so much for doing that." And you need to know, thank you. Number one, thank you for the honor of being your team page. But number two, thank you for the honor to remember why I love this business so much. If you need reminders of why you love what you do, go speak to your team. Go speak on a call. Go do an Instagram live. Because when you talk about it, you gotta be about it. And every time I talk about this business, I am reminded how much it's changed my life and how I can't hold that back from anyone else. So actually, thank you for letting me be in here and chat with you today. And while this wasn't 6 minutes, it also wasn't 60. So I consider that progress for me. That's progress, all right? Okay, you guys have an amazing Thursday. If I can ever do anything else, answer any other questions, I'm so happy to do so. Please, please, please come back to Indianapolis for Summit someday. And if Beachbody won't, let's just do our own. Want to? We'll just hang out here in my backyard. We'll just have a big party here in my backyard, all right? Cool. Have an amazing day. Thank you. Love you guys.